can be. With pencils and paper they create what they see, drawing up stories with their twisted minds. They're sketchy creations, one of a kind. They wander the city looking for inspiration, find shady corners where they engage in creation, sketching out chaos in every shade of gray. Their art is gritty, it won't fade away. Getting sketchy with every line they draw, creating masterpieces that leave you in awe. Their imagination wild, the talent outshines. Sketchy dudes making drawings, it's their defining sign.
Hello there, everyone. Matt here with thevirtualinstructor.com, and welcome to Gettin Sketchy Live, the greatest live broadcast in all of YouTube. I hope everybody is doing great this evening as we're back this week. Last week I had a little bit of a scheduling conflict that happened on Wednesday and then got moved to Thursday, and that's just the way things happen sometimes. We are people and we have lives and schedules that get changed at the last minute.
Sometimes.
That's what happened. But anyway, we're back this week for episode 6 of season 14. I hope you're excited for tonight's broadcast, because tonight we're going to do a little something different. We're going to be using our imaginations a little bit more so than we usually do here on Gettin Sketchy, so I hope you guys enjoy that. But like always, I am joined by my good friend and fellow artist, Ashley. He's sitting right over there. How are you doing this evening, Ashley?
It looks like I grew about 3 inches
You grew?
in the last 2 weeks. So there we go. There we are. I'm doing well, Matt. Thank you
Shrinking
for
down
asking.
there.
You know, our new intro with our AI selves.
Yeah.
When the intro was over and the camera went to you, I thought I was still watching the intro for a second.
Yeah,
I
it
thought,
probably was. Yeah,
well, this is kind of a boring segment. Oh wait, that's actual Matt.
yeah, that's
So,
me. Yeah. Yeah.
Pretty cool. I'm getting used to it. Getting used to it.
Yeah, I was supposed to be looking at the camera when it ended, but I was looking at this camera, shaking my head. That's and I was watching the intro is what I was doing.
Right.
Yeah, I haven't fully embraced AI. I see that somebody put that in there in the chat. Keith said that. No, but I'm having fun with it. I mean, it is something that's kind of fun to play around with, and I'm not scared of it like everybody else is. That's not entirely true. I did watch the movie Terminator.
I'm not scared of me with AI.
Yeah, I'm not scared of
I'm not scared of
animations.
you with AI.
Right.
But maybe some other folks out there might scare me with the power of AI. So
Right,
we're still
yeah.
on the fence, but we're having fun with it.
Yeah, so we're going to continue to have fun with it. I know it's a controversial thing, but a lot of new technologies have historically been controversial when they came out. So let's just hope that it doesn't lead to the destruction of the world. But
Terminator 4, is there a 4? If there's not, there could be.
I don't know how many Terminators there are. There are a lot of them, because people started turning liquid and stuff.
Yeah, right.
Right. I just really, the one that sticks with me is the one with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Right. Was that T2?
When they started turning liquid?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
So. That's the best one.
You think that's the best one?
It's my favorite.
Okay. Yeah.
We just got the big Harley.
I just remember the first one, really. Anyway, enough about Terminator and AI killing us in the future. I hope everybody's doing great this evening. It is hot. It has been really hot here. I mean, really hot here. And I know it's been really hot all over the United States. Mm-hmm. Hopefully you are avoiding the heat wherever you are and staying in an air-conditioned environment. Tonight, things are going to get hot, too. Because, like I said, we're going to be using our imagination a lot more than we usually do here for Gettin Sketchy. Anyway, if you are watching this live, there's a chat box, of course. You can post comments and questions, and we'll do our best to answer those comments and questions. If you really have something specifically directed at Ashley or I, we encourage you to use the super chat function on YouTube. It does cost you a little bit of money, but that money goes to help support the channel and support the show. And it also gets your comment or question predominantly displayed in the chat box. And we do that really stupid cheer for you. I don't know if that's a prize or if that's just annoying. Who knows, but we do that anyway. Also, if you're new to the channel, or if you haven't yet, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Most of you watching this video are not subscribed, which is pretty crazy to think of. But that's how it is on YouTube. It used to be everybody subscribed to the channel and all that stuff, and now people don't subscribe like they used to. So if you're not subscribed, subscribe to the channel. And if you do like this video and like what we do here on Getting Sketchy, make sure you give it a like. And if you're watching the recorded version, give us a comment in the comment section below. If you're watching this live, of course, all your comments are going in the chat box. Plus, if you are here, then you care about your art instruction. Well, why not head over to thevirtualinstructor.com after our broadcast and check out the program we have over there. And I know a lot of people don't like membership. Don't like the word membership, but I can't think of a better word to use. So check out our membership program, which gives you access to all of our courses, all the classes we offer. We do weekly live lessons. We've got a ton of courses on a variety of drawing and painting media and subject matter. Pretty much everything you can imagine is covered in one way or the other. We do live broadcasts each week that are not like Getting Sketchy. We have fun, but we are a little bit more serious about the art and the drawings, and those are extended lessons. So over the course of several weeks. And we also do weekly critiques as part of the Members Minute, and there's a year-long curriculum for visual arts teachers as well over there. So if you are an art teacher and you're looking for resources and materials that you can use in your classroom, all of that is provided for you as part of the program. If you don't like the membership kind of thing, well, yeah, we sell our courses and classes individually as well. So if you want to check that out, all of our stuff is insanely inexpensive. And if you join the membership program, you get a week-long trial for free, and then there's a 30-day money-back guarantee. So you can't really beat that.
Frankie's got a question. He says, is the membership annual, and do you break for the summertime?
No, we don't break for the anytime. But yeah, we have a yearly membership, and we also have monthly membership. So if you'd rather go month to month, you can do that. If you want to go year to year, you can do that. So it's completely up to you.
There's tons of content and new content produced throughout the year.
Yeah, every week. Every week there's usually two new members only videos produced. Sometimes there's more than that. Sometimes there's 3 and 4, but at the minimum 2 a week. You can go, and the monthly membership and the yearly membership, it's the same content, same material. And you know, I've been getting a lot of people asking me recently about time limits for viewing and can they watch this video over and over again. And the answer is yes, of course. And so there must be other programs out there that restrict your access or only let you watch videos once or twice or something like that.
I see.
That's crazy.
Especially for art videos, because sometimes you need to see it. You need to see it twice. You need to hear it twice.
Right. That's absolutely insane if other people are doing that out there. But you know, nothing surprises me anymore. Absolutely nothing surprises me. Anyway. So check out the membership program. Also, if you're not on our mailing list and you want to get sent free course videos, ebooks, and a bunch of free art lessons, there's a link in the description below this video. You can sign up for that. There's also a link in the description below this video to check out the membership program. And I've also listed a few courses that are relevant to what we're doing tonight. So if you want to check that stuff out, it's in the description below this video. All right, the last thing I need to say is that I am going to be working from a photo reference. If you want to grab the photo reference for yourself, all you have to do is go to the YouTube channel. So to get to the YouTube channel, click on the little icon of my face in the lower left-hand corner. That will take you to the channel, and then look for the posts link. So there'll be a little menu that says post. Click on that. And the top post will be the photo reference. You can download it, and then there's a link right back to the video that you're watching right now, so you can pick up where you left off. All right, with that, I think we're ready to switch over, so we'll go ahead and switch over and get into this one.
Very good.
Bring my chair up really high so that my knees are positioned directly into the drawer of my drafting table.
You're connected.
That's the way I like it. I like the circulation cut off. I don't like to feel my ankles or feet when I'm drawing.
To draw.
Who needs that? You know, all I need to do is feel my fingers.
You're concentrating the blood where you need it most.
Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, I've got the paper that we're working on here is PastelMat paper. Now, for those of you who don't know about PastelMat paper, if you love pastels, then you're going to love PastelMat paper because it is really a remarkable surface. It looks super smooth, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. And I was actually, before you came into the studio, I was feeling it too.
Yeah.
It's crazy how much pastel it holds for how it feels.
Yeah.
You'd think it would feel more like sandpaper.
Yeah, it's super. It looks super smooth, but it does have a very fine texture associated with it. And as many of you know, having texture and tooth is very important for layering pastels because you know we've got to layer pastels to build up depth and color, and you need to have enough texture on the surface in order to do that. This paper provides a nice texture and it holds the pastel material in place. So if you're tired of the pastels getting smeared all over the place really easily or not adhering to the surface, this surface is really, really nice for that. I'm obviously working on a dark gray surface. And the pastels I'm going to be using, I have a variety of them all arranged around me. I've got some of my Rembrandt pastels. I also have my very, very old collection of new pastels. This box is super old. I think it's from the 80s, actually. I did see that this box had a price tag from Kmart.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Kmart. Anyway, these are considered hard pastels. They're just like if you.
I can't believe Kmart carried such high quality.
I know, isn't that crazy? They don't anymore.
No, definitely not.
If you can find a Kmart,
Right.
But they did at one time. New pastels, I think, are now made by Prismacolor. Is that right?
I think so.
I think they're produced by Prismacolor. This is before they were owned by Prismacolor. But hard pastels are a good way to think about hard pastels and soft pastels. Hard pastels are kind of like compressed charcoal, and soft pastels are kind of like vine charcoal. So that's a good way to think of them. And I also have my Stabilo my Carbothello pastel pencils here by Stabilo. Anyway, we're going to be using some of those as well. So if you'll notice a reference over here on the left, it looks like a pretty nice summer day.
What a nice day.
Yeah, what a nice day. Guys enjoying themselves on the boat, just sailing. And, my original song for this, since, Ashley threw on me that first lesson of the series, that we were going to be doing a theme. We're going to be doing music as a theme. My first instinct was the song Sailing, Take Me Away to Where I'm Going, which is one of the dumbest lines I've ever heard. Because if you're sailing away, your boat is taking you to where you're going, no matter where that is.
Right. Even if you don't know where it's at.
Right. It's kind of like the line in Little Saint Nick, the Beach Boys song.
Yeah.
Christmas comes this time each year. That's one of the songs. Christmas comes this time. Of course it does.
Yeah.
Why do you need to include that in the song?
Captain Obvious.
Right. But I decided that this was too peaceful. This was
nice.
Too happy. Mm-hmm. So I changed my song to Riders on the Storm.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So these guys are going to be riding on a storm. And we're going to be using our imagination to create some rough seas, kind of a darkish sky with just a little bit of light. And
hey, a little Bob Rossi tonight. Little wave lives over here.
Yeah, there's going to be some
Maybe
waves.
He's got a friend.
Have some waves. No trees, though.
No trees in the water. That's right.
All right. So like always, I will have 45 minutes to complete this drawing and about ready to start the clock. I'm going to start here with this this is kind of a blue-purple pencil here that I'm going to be sketching out just a basic idea of where the boat's going to be. With the composition here, I'm going to try to create some diagonals happening in here. I want a beam of light to kind of be at a diagonal right here. I kind of want the boat to be in this area right here. And then I want the waves to create another diagonal across here. So we've got a little bit of movement here. We want to create a lot of the feeling of movement. So we're going to try to get this boat at an angle and try to make it as dynamic as possible. All right, so hope the drawing is better than the singing. Jazz, first of all, you're right. It's going to be better than the singing. That's very likely going to be happening. And second of all, I do not sing well. I don't profess to sing well. And I'm also singing live on the internet for you guys. So I can't wait to see your video of you singing on the internet. All right. Let's go ahead and start the timer in 45 minutes, and we'll get started there. Now I've got sailing, take me where to where I'm going.
You know, it would be cool to play the songs that we are drawing from, but I don't know that we're allowed to.
We can't do that.
Not allowed.
It's copyright music.
They'd strike us.
You know,
so we have to sing.
Right. We can't play it ourselves.
That's our only option.
And, you know, I use music in my videos, the I almost said stagnant ones, the static ones, the ones that aren't live.
Yeah.
And, you know, sometimes I still get copyright stuff on that, even though I use a service that provides music, and then I have to fight those. And that company fights those on my behalf. Can you believe that?
Well, that's good. And I guess they're best equipped to prove that they haven't...
But that's what it is these groups of
it's extortion.
It is extortion.
It's what
100%. These groups exist out there that claim they own the rights to music when they don't, and you know, they take some of the revenue until you can prove that
basically scam YouTube, and YouTube, I guess, doesn't want to spend resources to try to figure out who's lying.
Right. So it's all on the creator to fight that and deal with that. Just the way it is. All right. So just a basic understanding of where the boat is here. And some of these dark shapes and things we'll put over the top. I'm going to put a little bit of information about the boat in place here. I'm going to use, I'll start here with just a cream colored pastel pencil. And I'm going to put a little indication of some light here using the side of the pencil.
So you've kept the boat's pitch or gesture the same.
Yes.
But it looks like you've narrowed the sail a little bit. Is that a compositional choice to get it to kind of stay on?
I want the boat to look like it's really struggling in the water. Yeah. And I don't want honestly, when we get this finished, there's no way this boat would have its sail up.
It's not going to survive.
No,
this is moments before.
This is a doomed
What's the name of that movie?
Here.
Perfect Wave, where a big wave went over the ship in the last scene. It was not a happy movie.
I've seen that.
It was a good movie.
A little bit of dark gray.
The Perfect Storm. That's what it's called.
I may have seen The Perfect Storm, but I can't. I'm going to go ahead and take this dark gray up the sail a little bit.
By the way, Matt Buddy tells us that she was a singer for decades before the COVID took her singing voice. So, well, Buddy, I hate that. I wish we could have heard you sing, and maybe you could have sung in Matt's place tonight. But
for sure,
we'll keep singing. We'll sing for you.
All right, a little bit of blue here on the sail. We're going to darken this up. It's getting a little bit of color in place. And I really want a lot of this to be in shadow. We're going to have some light coming from the left side. There is a little bit of light down here in the lower part of the sail. So put a little black on the top and then back to some of the blue, and that'll make it look like it's in shadow a little bit. And keep things loose, painterly.
Did you say what your paper dimensions were?
I did not, but it is. They are 6 inches wide by 8 inches tall.
Okay, so a standard ratio, standard 3-to-4 ratio. case you're working alongside Matt, you want your composition to land like his. 6:8 or another 3:4 ratio. Jazz, I see your comment about a movie called Triangle of Sadness with a pretty epic boat scene. So I'll have to check that one out.
Triangle of Sadness. Well, you guys are.
Wonder if that has something to do with the Bermuda Triangle.
Here.
I don't know.
Triangle of Sadness.
I guess the best shipwreck story I've heard recently or watched recently in this case was The Terror. I think it was called The Terror. So, I don't know if it was a mini series or just one single season of a TV show. Again, it's not a happy story, but it was a good story. All right, we've got a question from Buddy. She says, Matt, did you use graphite for the sketch or a black pastel pencil? We're using blue.
I used a kind of a blue-purple to sketch out the boat.
Okay, there you go. It did look pretty dark.
Yeah, let's have a wave come up right here.
Let's see, you've got a kind of an analogous color scheme started here with the blue and the green.
Yeah, our ocean's going to be mostly green. We have another wave right here.
That makes it seem a little bit scary and eerie in terms of your color choice. Kind of this warm green, and pretty different from the blue and the reference. Maria has an interesting question. She says, would you normally establish horizon line in this sort of composition? I struggle with that, but I don't think Matt's going to really have a horizon unless you count the wave peaks. So he's deviating from the reference in that way.
I'm deviating. We're pretty much done with reference. I am going to add some bits of color and stuff to the boat here, but right now we're going to concentrate on the water and the sky. So. This is the initial application of water. And you might be thinking, whoa, that doesn't make any sense. Well, it will. Just be patient. All right, so we're going to go kind of with a dark gray here. Sky. I need it to be a little darker. Let's see if this is a little darker. Yeah, that's a little better. So let me unpaper this a little bit. More of the side in place. Go way up to the edge of the boat. So this is going to be a kind of a, it's going to be either probably late in the evening here. What we're looking at here. And the storm. Soften up that edge where the water meets the sky a little bit.
Those soft edges will add to the atmosphere. Dense atmosphere. Mark, I see your comment about a Robert Redford movie. All is lost with a boat scene similar to this boat. So thank you for that suggestion. And I'm a fan of Robert Redford, so I like those movies. His heyday in Hollywood was just a little before my time, but let's see. What's the name of the Robert Redford movie where he is trying to learn to be a mountain man and he has a son named Caleb? It is Jeremiah Johnson. That's it. I think that's my favorite one. All right, so I can see
a little bit of light in here.
Yeah, the beam of light. I can see where that's going to direct our eyes straight down to your boat.
This is kind of a peach color. And we're going to let that kind of move together here. And I'll try to use a clean finger to get
really
a little bit of that
painting with the
worked in.
fingers. With the pastel matte paper, it's actually a little bit of work to blend it, isn't it?
Well, yeah, and I want to keep a lot of the tooth of the paper up here, so I'm not like putting a whole lot of material on the surface because I want to be able to, let's go with a little bit of black over here, make it a little darker.
All right.
I want to be able to have the waves look like they're spraying the white stuff, and without, if I use too much of the tooth of the paper, I won't be able to get that effect.
I see. Gotta save a little bit.
So I have to save a little bit at the tops of these waves, and really have to save a lot throughout the paper. That's one of the things that we just got to be careful of here. All right, let's bring just a little bit more. Let's bring a bit of that gray in here, bluish gray. Get a little bit more color in the sky.
What is that, purple?
It's kind of a purplish gray.
Okay.
Maybe there's a little bit of rain. There's a little bit of the illusion of some rain back there.
Well, Buddy's enjoying seeing what you're doing with the reference, or in this case, I guess, how you're not using the reference. What reference?
I love how you're using that reference. Well, thanks, buddy. All right. Couple marks over here too. All right, that looks pretty dark and stormy. Let's add a little bit of variation here to the light area. This is a light pink. Just getting a little bit more variety. Go to a little bit of an opposite diagonal. So we've got a little bit of diagonal coming down here.
All right. Well, you're doing great on time. You still have 32 minutes.
All right. Let's start getting some different values. Yeah, I need to get a little bit of that edge just kind of worked in here. I want to go a little bit darker next to the edge of the boat here. So we're going to come back and put some highlights on the boat. But now let's start working in the water a little bit. All right, so this is kind of a dark green, dark bluish green. Let's go ahead and let's see. Need to figure out where we want the waves to be. So we want one wave coming up here, kind of turning over to the boat, and we have another one right here, kind of cresting and spraying water up. Maybe another one right here, spraying water up. Start making some variation in the color here. Use this dark gray again.
So there's some debate going on whether or not we're looking at a nighttime scene or a daytime scene, because it's so stormy. Is that a moonlight, or is that light from the sun breaking into the clouds?
It's up to you guys.
That's kind of what I was thinking. Choose your own interpretation. Choose your own adventure. It could be any light source. I know somebody mentioned
dark in
lightning.
here.
Yeah, it could be lightning behind our clouds. Sam, I see your comment about the shipwreck. Or actually shipwreck and ship fire. So I'll have to look that up. Wild.
I have light on the top of this wave here. A little bit of light.
I see a form developing in those waves now. You know, it started out as a big green shape, and slowly it's going to turn into or really not that slowly, an undulating, watery surface. All right, so as Matt's only been working back in the water now for a couple of minutes, I can see evidence of those, the direction, I guess, of the surface of the water.
It's really dark
the diagonals, right, that lead us back up to the boat. So if our eyes enter the picture plane from the top or the bottom, you know, we're going to be directed to the boat as our focal point.
How much blue do I want to add to this? No. Add a little bit here and there. I don't really want a whole lot of blue in here. This water to look pretty angry. This is kind of a blue-gray.
Mm-hmm.
Starting to get a lot darker, I feel like, where I start going too light.
So that the light really shows up.
Yeah. So I know this is looking really dark right now. All right, let's get some lighter greens in here. Let's see. Let's start here.
All right, kind of a yellowish green, or at least a very, very warm green.
Yeah, definitely a yellowish green. It's a little bit of gray on that side. I want to go a little bit darker. I'm starting to feel the pressure of the clock. I have no idea what time we've got.
You have 26 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
You're not even halfway there. You know, pastel and charcoal, those are two of our speed mediums here on Gettin Sketchy. And we try to use as much variety of medium as we can. And I've really become attuned, I guess, to the difference in speed with regards to media like pastel versus colored pencil, like charcoal, you know, even versus graphite. Just quite a bit of difference. So what he and I both do is scale our artwork sometimes to try to match the medium and the time constraint. All right, I like that. I've got some
we're going to slowly
cool
go a little bit
relationships down there.
lighter. And I just need to figure out where I need to go darker. This feels like this is really want there to be a diagonal pulling us up to the boat. It's all about trying to figure out where to place the highlights.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of let
And
things...
you're imagining that, well, I mean, I know you're not totally imagining it because we do have a reference. In a reference, the light's coming from the left, and you want to show that it's already apparent in the boat, so you just got to make sure the waves agree with that.
Right.
So Matt's got to use his imagination, but without forgetting the information that we are borrowing from the reference, so that what he adds feels like it harmonizes with that information. One danger when we're working from our imagination is the light, and it's not necessarily just having light in our artwork from different directions that don't make sense together. Sometimes it can also be intensity, where one thing in our image that we've made up has more contrast than something else, and so it looks like it's being hit by a stronger light source. But then if the artwork looks like the light is coming from a single direction, and we assume it's the same light source for all of the different elements in the composition, and then it's a little bit of feels a little disconnected there. So managing the direction and the intensity of light is hard when we're working from our imagination, and what makes it easier is not working from your imagination. So if you like this drawing that Matt's doing, if you like the process, then use it, but also keep working from observation, because that's where we build sort of our visual, our visual awareness, our visual toolbox of what colors to put together and what values to use for a certain intensity of light that we want to capture, or will want to capture later in a drawing from our imagination.
All right, trying to slowly build what we're going to have here for the ripples. And, this is just kind of emerging. So I'm just trying to let things happen, and then I'll figure out where the crests are, and where the valleys are.
Mary Elizabeth says, are you going to put people in the boat?
Yeah, I'm going to put some indication of a person in there.
Yeah, we can see that in the reference a little bit, can't we? They're just so tiny.
But they're probably going to be pieces of color.
They're going to be screaming, but we won't be able to see all that. They're probably trying to get out. Gosh, I don't know. Would they be trying to get out of the boat? I don't think I would. Just hold on. Hold on to the mast. Now, Matt.
Yeah.
Who is the... And I feel like this is a story that I have heard told about more than one artist. And I wonder if it's true for more than one artist, or if it's sort of art history mythology that has been applied to other artists. So the story goes that before the advent of photography, and of course, clearly you wouldn't need to do this because you're not using a reference for this storm anyway. But before the advent of photography, there was an artist that had himself tied to the mast of a ship during a storm so that he could observe it, and then, become a great painter of storms thereafter. Have you heard that story?
Yes, that was me. Yes. I did that in preparation for tonight's Gettin Sketchy broadcast.
Matt was tied to a paddle boat in a lake.
Yes.
And his wife was just paddling around.
It was terrifying.
Like, I got it.
It was terrifying because
take
my wife
me back
was
to
driving.
land. I'm ready.
I've had enough.
So I have heard that story as being in reference to Turner. Is it JMW Turner or JMW Turner? I think that's it. And I've also heard that story told about Theodore Guercott. And both great painters of waves and storms. So I don't know if it's true for both.
Well, it couldn't have been both.
Neither, or just
it could have
one.
been. I guess it could have been true for both.
Sure, it could have been. It could have been. So I'm not sure.
All right. I feel like I need. What do I need? I feel like I need a little bit.
It was one of those
more.
duck boats, Mark. I see that. Yeah, that's what Matt was strapped to.
Yeah. Thank goodness I got unstrapped. This one I need a little bit more of. Yeah, let's bring a little bit of this green in.
And there's a painting that has like a shipwreck in it, and it has green water like this. You know, it's very ominous. And there's a shark there at the bottom of the.
That's by Fuseli.
Is that it? Okay, you remember.
The guys are in the boat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the shark looks a little bit strange, you know.
Well,
because they hadn't probably observed a lot of sharks.
Right. It's hard to tell what species it is.
Yeah.
And the reason I know that was Fuseli is because my drawing teacher, the same one that said you got a little bit of charcoal in your mustache.
Yeah.
He asked me if I was related to Fuseli.
Because of your last name.
Yeah. I said, nope, I am not.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny?
That is funny. Yeah, this image you're making is bringing all kinds of art history, bringing me back to my art history classes. It's got kind of a classic old world look to it. I guess because it's got a sailboat in it, you know. We can't really tell that it was a boat made in the 2010s. It could be older. Love it, though.
So these waves are kind of like mountains a little bit. Let's see here. What do I want to do next? I think I need to do a little bit of work on the boat. I'm going to put a little bit more of this light teal color in areas. Kind of make the water feel a little foamier.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to go back with white or kind of not really white, but some light grays.
For seafoam?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be nice.
And that's going to make a huge difference. That's going to make all the difference, actually.
Now, you know, something's going on in your picture that you may or may not have noticed yet.
Is there a hidden face or something?
No, the sail looks a little bit translucent because of that.
Oh, yeah.
The way that triangle lands.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go. Right there on the line.
Right. It's lining up with the wave that's behind it and making a straight path.
We got to fix that.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and bring that down a little bit.
Because there we go. Just to break that up. You know,
that's
my eye was just hanging on to that.
We're just gonna ignore that light value right there and just let that be dark.
Right. I mean, we've changed so much from the reference.
I didn't even notice that at all. All right, let's do a little bit more work on the sailboat and try to bring out a little bit more light, maybe a little bit more color on this, and maybe some more detail. And we'll put the person in there, and then we'll start doing the splashes and stuff.
Awesome. Get down to some details at the end of this one, even in just 45 minutes. Orion Nebula,
I don't know how much time we have left.
You've still got almost 17 minutes.
That's way too much time.
Wait, is Matt going to finish early?
That's way too... I could definitely finish this early.
Then you can just tap it with your eraser over and over.
Yeah, I'll tap it.
Like in our intro,
I'll tap it for 30 minutes.
Yeah. So next, if you guys haven't noticed in the new AI enhanced intro, Matt and I are both drawing a lot, which makes total sense. But he's drawing in one of the vignettes, he's drawing with both hands at the same time. And in another one, he just keeps tapping his eraser on his paper. That's my favorite.
Here is our unfortunate seaman there.
All right. So the size, by the way, is 6x8. For those that are wondering.
But a little bit of red here and there. Red always adds a little bit of interest.
Mm-hmm.
Red thing up there. a little red thing here.
Just a few little hints of detail, and it kind of kicks our image a little bit closer to feeling like completed image. We don't always make drawings here that we would consider entirely complete, but when that's happening to me, I look for just a few poignant details, a few that I think are really important, and put those in, knowing that I've got limited time and I'm not going to get to all of them. So sometimes just a few selective details can make a lot of difference.
All right. I know there's a little flag and stuff right there, but and a line that comes out. We're going to add that closer to the end.
Mm-hmm.
So let me on the edge of the sail here, and then we'll start doing the splashes.
Margaret is doing this one in watercolor. Said she got her toothbrush out for some sea spray. Very creative.
That'll work.
Super stiff bristles.
All right, so the water is going to be splashing on the boat and also splashing on these waves here and there. But, I want a little bit more of that yellow-green here. Just a little bit more in here. Really think that that's bringing out the light and the light source.
Yeah, I like that color in there. What color did you say you're using?
That's yellow-green.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Let's see. We're going to start with a light gray here. And let's just start with the, I'm going to put a little red on the edge of the boat here. I know there's not red on here, but I'm going to put a little bit of color that we can see.
Yeah, and the boat is your focal point. It's surrounded by a lot of green, so the red will further, draw our attention to the boat.
All right.
It's a good
so
choice.
Let's see if we preserved enough of the tooth of the paper to do this. So just taking it and letting it go up like that. Soften it at the bottom.
Oh yeah, I like that. Look how the tooth is contributing to that. Nice.
The sail is in the water too. Sail, whatever it is, the mast.
Oh, it's going down.
It's hitting the water there. And
Buddy, I see your comment. Buddy says she's missing some purple.
There's not going to be any purple in this one.
There's a little bit in the sky.
Oh, there is a little bit.
Yeah, it's a little bit of that grayish purple. So it's in there, buddy. It's very grayish. It's very, very dull. But there's purple up there. Just a little.
All right. Our wind is coming from the left.
Definitely.
So consider that.
Yeah, Charles points out what a huge and crazy change just getting some of that spray in there. Well, it is. I mean, it's adding a lot of drama, but it's also increasing Matt's value range a little bit more. I mean, he's got some lights in there, but I guess there's a little higher concentration of them now. So that definitely adds to the drama.
Definitely getting that diagonal happening in there. Where our boat is.
Matt, have you been sailing?
I have been sailing like once on a lake, and
yeah, me too.
It's not fun. I didn't think it was fun.
You didn't think it was fun?
No,
I liked it.
Seemed like a lot of work to me.
It is a lot of work. There's a lot of pulling ropes.
Right, but I don't really like I don't really like working when you're supposed to be doing something that's fun. All right, I just want to point out how important it is to preserve the tooth of the paper to get that effect. If you get too much of the material on the surface, you will not be able to create this spray look.
That's why you were working so hard to spread it in that area earlier.
Exactly. Yeah.
Instead of using just more pastel. Yeah, I'm enjoying seeing the broken color there.
To the other camera. That's the wrong camera, but hey, guys. There we go. So a little bit of a different angle there. All right, let's...
color looks good on this camera.
Yeah, this camera is just the bomb, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
A little more spray in there. And this is not white, I'll point out. It's like a light gray.
What I liked about sailing was how quiet it was compared to boats with motors.
Well, that's true. All right, let's put some foam in here. No, that's not really strong enough, so I mean, it's all right.
But he mentions how great all the variety of greens look. Yeah, that camera really shows it, doesn't it, buddy? I mean, we can see the warm, cool contrast in greens on the main, from the main view as well. But you can really see those colors. It's very helpful.
Here in the foreground, we'll see more of the foam ripples. As we go back, we'll start to lose them a little bit.
So Matt's created quite a bit of space here with his level of detail. Or variable level of detail from the bottom of the picture up towards the top.
All right, let's use a little bit of whites now to make some more of these just a little bit stronger. Especially the one that's hitting the boat here.
Nice.
Dangerous. It's really fun to be free of photo reference, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Nice departure from the norm. All right, let's see. I'm going to add just a little bit more light here. Coming down, and then we'll add those last details. I got to find part of my finger that's clean here. There's not much of that left.
I have to use your left hand.
Yeah. Give that impression of maybe some rain off in the distance. A little bit more violence back there. All right, let's go ahead and add some of the final details to the boat here. We'll refine the highlight right along that mast. On the top of the boat here. This little light area at the bottom. And then we'll add the darker elements, like this little wire thing that comes out. Just going to give
ropes or cords,
a little
cables.
indication, yeah. Like it's blowing in the wind. And then the pieces that come out. We'll add our flag.
Maybe a windsock.
Add the
Well,
windsock.
you wouldn't need a windsock if you've got a sail. You know where the wind's coming from.
Which direction the wind's coming from.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm going to add it with here. Maybe this pencil is the trick here.
All right. Looking great.
Thanks. A little bit of yellow on there. And, you know, I don't know if I want to do this or not. Should we have birds? Should we have a couple birds up here? What do you think?
You probably... Some folks have mentioned you adding a buoy.
A buoy?
But those are both... But birds are pretty minimal. Might add just a touch of weight over there. And also a feeling of hope. There's birds, there's land, right?
It's also a feeling of hope.
Yeah, a little bit of hope in the sky.
I can see that. All right. Now, I'm not sure how I would make these birds. I don't want them to look ridiculous. Do a little test over here.
Mary Elizabeth says you could add lightning.
I could add some lightning, but where would it be? I feel like if I had lightning...
I would probably put it in the top left.
Like coming out of here?
Yeah. Perhaps. Oh, yeah. Bolt of lightning back there.
Ooh, I like it.
Yep. Yeah. Now it's a storm.
That's it.
Yeah.
It doesn't need birds.
It's balanced.
These birds aren't going to be in a storm like this.
That's what Jan said. Birds don't fly in storms.
Yeah.
Because they're smart.
Now that is some scary business right there.
Look at the reference. And what happened?
Yeah. Riders on the storm.
That's great.
This ship is doomed. These guys are not going to survive.
Yeah,
all right, let's go back to the other
We're witnessing
camera.
the last moments of that one.
Yeah, you get a better idea.
You
get a better idea of the true colors looking at this camera. I'm telling you guys, one day I'm going to switch over and use this as an overhead camera.
It is so good.
It is so good.
Yeah.
But let's get a little darker over here. A little bit of an indication of some more of the rain there. Make it look even scarier and more dangerous.
But he says, do you both realize how teaching this show is? We're trying.
We're trying, yeah. Trying our best. I don't know if I like that. You know what I'm doing here? I'm trying to make it last the whole time.
Oh yeah, don't do that. If you get in a place you like, you got to stop. That's what we tell folks.
I don't mind that blue over the
Scarf
top.
and
I
Tea
like
says, stunning work, Matt. Jan says, fantastic colors and light.
Thank you, guys. All right, let's. I don't think this has ever happened before.
I know you've never finished early.
Ever finished early?
Maria says you beat the clock. Woohoo!
Well, I can take the tape off.
Yeah, that's right. We can take the tape off and still beat the clock, perhaps.
All right, so this pastel matte paper.
Oh, yeah, look how sharp that is.
The pastel matte paper, you don't have to worry about your tape tearing the paper. That's definitely a bonus. It's going to come off pretty easy. I'm still going to pull it at a 90-degree angle, but it's going to come off pretty easy. See, the tape tears before the paper does.
Mm-hmm.
And
all right, yeah, what a difference.
One
Get the
last
tape off. It looks
look from
good.
this angle with the tape on.
Yep.
So we'll go back here. So I did want to create that diagonal down through there. I really wanted to have kind of go like that. I can kind of amend that a little bit so that this a little bit stronger here. So it's a little bit.
Patricia says, "Great job, Matt." Jen says, "Wow." Mary Elizabeth does as well.
Thank you, guys. And, you know, just need that lightning to be a little stronger in a couple of areas.
Yeah, just a little variety there. There we go.
There we go.
Oh, Margaret says this is her favorite all-time ever.
All-time ever. Wow, Margaret. That's a big deal.
Well, remember, Margaret and everybody else, you'll get to vote for your favorite. I mean, it's not a very organized vote. It's in the chat. But you get to vote for your favorite in the 11th episode, which is coming up in 5 episodes, I believe, when we look back at our artwork for the season and critique it. And I will look forward to talking about this one again.
That's very true. We will. Our last episode of the season, we take a look at all the artworks that we created and we critique them. And we pick our favorites, and you guys get to pick your favorites too. So if you've never experienced Gettin Sketchy wrap-up show, don't miss it this season.
This one could be a contender.
It could be.
It's definitely a contender.
They're all contenders. Yeah. You know, everybody. It seems like every drawing that we do gets a vote.
Somebody picks them. Yeah, and that's what's so nice to see the variety of choices out there.
I think somebody voted for the Red Bull can last season, which is shocking.
Someone that drinks Red Bull as soon as they wake up every morning.
Yeah, go Red Bull can, Red Bull can. All right. All right, I guess that's it. I feel like I should be still drawing.
Right. Usually we draw 5 minutes past the clock, you know.
I really don't know what's happening.
Feels like you should be doing something right now.
Yeah. All right, we're going to call this one Riders on the Storm.
Yeah, that's great. Great title. Nice image, Matt.
All right, let's go ahead and switch over there. All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed watching that as much as I enjoyed creating it for you. I really enjoyed tonight. I was relaxed, calm, wasn't tied to a reference photo, and finished early. Imagine that. Well, next week, Ashley will be doing the drawing for us. And
we won't even have a reference photo.
Yeah. Well,
no, I'm just kidding. We'll have a reference photo.
I see Mary Elizabeth asked, why did I miss last week? As many of you know, my son was playing baseball. Their baseball season is over, but they were in the All-Star District Tournament, and it was announced the night I was going to miss the game and just be here for the live lesson, Get Sketchy. But they let everyone know that my son was going to be the starting pitcher. So no way I was going to miss that. So on Wednesday night, I'd moved the live lesson and Getting Sketchy to Thursday night. Then on Wednesday night, they canceled it because we had bad storms and rescheduled it for Thursday. So after I had rescheduled Getting Sketchy in the live lesson, they moved it to Thursday. Again, that's something that I was not going to miss. And I'm going to be there for my son. And that night there were terrible storms and things, and they ended up playing. They started their game at 9:30 p.m.
Baseball players on the storm.
Yeah, baseball players on the storm, and that game lasted about an hour and 50 minutes, and it only went 3 innings. We beat that team 20-2, but I did get to see my son pitch, so that's why I was out last week, and we're back. We're back. And baseball's over. Thank goodness. Thank goodness baseball is over. Anyway, that's about us. That's about it for us, I should say. Ashley, do you have anything else for the folks?
I'll be listening to some music between now and this weekend, and actually I have a song in mind that my son introduced me to. So I think I have a song. I'm gonna look for my reference and share that with Matt. And it's, we took that week off and I didn't draw this week, so I'm anxious to draw along with you next week. Have a great week.
All right, and I've actually already got my reference for the next episode too, because I was going to do it last week, but I changed my mind, and I'm doing this week. And there's a very good reason why I changed my mind, but I'm still going to do it this season. But that will be coming up in 2 weeks. Ashley will be
All
here
right.
next week.
So we're ahead of the game. We've got plans.
Yeah, we're organized.
Yeah.
You believe that? Don't. Anyway, have a great week, guys. If you're going to be a part of the live lesson, we'll see you in just a minute, where I'm going to be working with charcoal. So I'm already in that mode here, working with pastels. If you like this video, give it a like. Make sure you leave a comment below, and we'll see you next week. Good night, everybody.